The ruling so-called elite certainly view themselves as a race apart. But who are they? Typically, the elite come from certain ancient bloodlines. Researcher Fritz Springmeier identified 13 such bloodlines in his book, Bloodlines of the Illuminati. The elite are obsessed with genealogy, many tracing their bloodlines back thousands of years to ancient Sumer and Babylonia. These are the people at the top of the pyramid who fund both sides of wars, spark revolutions, make presidents their puppets, and they are weird. Not just eccentric or odd, but totally inhumanly strange and evil. A common distinguishing theme among elite circles is an inversion of everything. Good is bad, ugliness is beauty, and pain is pleasure. Think of the Addams family and their affinity for death and torture. In fact, the creator of the cartoon Charles Addams, who strangely gave the family his own surname, was from an elite bloodline himself and related to President John Adams. The Addams are identified by Fritz Springmeier as an Illuminati bloodline family. Leonardo da Vinci, Vincent van Gogh, just a couple of the names that come to mind when we think of beautiful art. And of course, the aristocracy is sponsoring today's generation of talented, inspirational artists. Wrong. While the elite do keep masterful works of art hidden away in their private collections, the art they truly fawn over is not really what most would even consider art. In total celebration of all that is grotesque and repulsive, the sick individuals who run our world pay outrageous sums to collect the most disturbing art they can find.
The Sultan of Oman and other people, buying artwork, buckets of maggots. I told you they love buckets of maggots. Images of dead children and maggots, crystal skulls, formaldehyde, fish tanks with dead cows in them, dressed in gold. Jesus with maggots all over him. And they'll spend 10, 20 million a piece. They'll spend, in one case, 99 million on one of them. And the artists have all got names like Damien, and they'll have body modification. These little chicken-necked cowards come in there, and all the elite flutter around and buy it. See, that's who rules things. That's who runs it. Imagine having a jar of maggots covering some rotten flesh, or images of their favorites are dead babies covered in maggots, but because of laws it'll be a fake baby covered in maggots. And it's just, all these elite homes, let's go to the room where it really shows who we are, and that to them it's so beautiful. Images of demons eating babies, images of maggots covering everything, maggots, cans of human feces for millions of dollars a piece. And they'll tell you, they write about it. They say, well, we buy $99 million, maggot buckets because it shows our adoration for the maggots and death. It is worship of the maggots. These are, if I had to describe the New World Order, they are maggot worshipers. And I don't just say that. They really are maggot worshipers. That's their works of art. You see, this is just the front of it. The maggots, the dead kids, the golden calves covered in maggots and crap. This is what they're into. They are the rotten flesh maggot cult. These people, the yachts, the hookers, the power, it all starts not having the luster anymore. So they pay top dollar at first for the snuff films of children. Big in Europe, big in Russia, just incredible evil. And so that's the thrill.
Take, for example, Washington, D.C. power broker Tony Podesta, brother of John Podesta, former White House Chief of Staff. His home is filled with disturbing paintings of children being stripped down and tortured. He has a golden statue known as the Arch of Agony, modeled after the posed corpses of serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer's victims. If you don't see the artistic beauty in that, you are obviously an uncultured plebeian. When a cannibal painting was found hanging in John Podesta's Clinton campaign office, his only comment? It's better to be the guy with the fork than the guy on the table. Another so-called artist admired by Tony Podesta and the like is Patricia Piccinini. This woman creates realistic sculptures of absolutely grotesque, lifelike monsters and repulsive human hybrid creatures, often depicted clutching children in disturbing poses. It appears that these are not mere psychopaths, but inhumanly evil, parasitic creatures who want only enough of us around to feed off of. They have no feelings, no compassion, no regard for any living thing that cannot further their agenda. Instead of using their collective wealth and power to propel humanity forward, they contemplate how they can create situations or major events, such as a terrorist attack or war, that would be lucrative for them.
These people are not only evil, they are inhuman. They have no feelings, no compassion, no regard whatsoever for anyone or anything that does not further their agenda. We are disposable containers to them. We are nothing more than useless eaters. They would not hesitate for a minute to kill us if we stand in the way of their goals. Regardless of what you see on TV or what they portray themselves like, this is who they are. They organize events like Pearl Harbor, 9/11, and financial crises from which they profit immensely. Their favorite is war. Our only useful purpose to them is to work for them, pay our debts to them, buy their goods and services, and fight their wars. Other than that, we are of no use to them. They are completely obsessed with money and power. They are motivated by immeasurable greed with a constant lust for more. They have no interest whatsoever in making life better for us. Everything has to benefit them at our expense.
Sometime in the future, humanity will look back and shake its head, wondering how we ever allowed ourselves to be sheep for these pathetic, spineless vermin.